maybe it's time to reintroduce this 1974 Bronco to you. What I've done, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Here we go. Alright guys, I don't think I've ever talked about the 74 Bronco in detail, and I think this is a good time to talk about it in detail. First, it is a 1974 Bronco, and there's a little story about this Bronco because it literally took about, I'd say, 10 years to finish, just because I was away for a little while. And I was away for 10 years overseas, and it sat halfway through the garage when I left. It was about, I would say, 80% done when I left 10, 11 years ago. So what is the story behind this Bronco? I would say maybe 15 years ago or 16 years ago, I got a hold of a Bronco that's nothing but a body. It has no engine. It had a body frame, axles, and it had no engine, but the body is in good shape. So I went ahead and bought it as a project. It had a title. I put the title in storage. And that's how you do it here in Hawaii, you know, just to make sure that you don't run into any problems. But it had a legit title, VIN numbers matching, missing parts obviously. But I knew someday that I will be able to build it and finish it to where it is now. So at the time I had a Bronco running already, 71. It had a 351 Windsor, 4-speed transmission, and a Dana 20 transfer case. It was locked front and rear. It was really good. But I had to leave the Bronco behind, and it got rusty. Living on an island like this and no one's taking care of it, the Bronco succumbed to the rust and it's a goner. So I decided when I got back from being away for over 10 years that I would rebuild my Bronco that's sitting in the garage, and this is what you see here, a complete 1974 Bronco. Now, mind you, I am not a I don't rebuild things for the purpose of car shows and things like that. I build it to run, and then a continuous project. The latest upgrade to this is that top right there from Rampage. I think it's pretty cool. The top is pretty solid. It gives the Bronco this safari look. It had a bikini top before. So what are the major things that I've done to this Bronco? If you look at it from the front, you would notice that the axles are super wide. It's because those axles are from a 1978 Ford F-150 full width. And what I did was I re-welded the C notch, or whatever those things are, the C cups, so that they would line up with the Bronco springs. And it has the Ford F-150 steering, drag link, and tie rod ends, and then an adjustable. It also has an adjustable track bar in the front, which I still need to probably raise because of the fact that the drag link and the track bar does not have the same angle, so it caused a little bit of a reaction when it hit a pothole. The other major thing in the front suspension here is this what do you call control arms. Both sides are custom control arms with really huge joints, and it's like a, I don't know, 1/4 inch DOM tubing or something like that. It's pretty heavy duty, customized. Did all the welding on the perches, and it's tested so far. But if you notice that there is no front drive shaft over there, because I removed it for now. I have issues with the front axle leaking, and I will fix that here in a minute. The exhaust is a dual Flowmaster exhaust, 2.5 inch all the way from the headers all the way down to the back. In the rear, you'll have the full width Ford 9-inch from the same vehicle, 1978 Ford F-150, and both axles have been regeared to 456. The rear has a Detroit locker locker, and the front is an aux locker. So this is locked front and rear pretty much. The suspension system came from Wild Horses. It's a 5.5 inch lift suspension system with Rancho shocks. As far as stopping power, front is disc brakes, rear is drum brakes still. It doesn't really have any problem stopping because of the power brakes provided by the vacuum provided by the 5.0 high output fuel injected motor, so it doesn't skip a beat when it comes to stopping. It actually locked the brakes a couple of times by stopping really too fast and too hard, and having the tires locked on the road. And by the way, these tires are old school TSL Swampers, 36-inch tires. I don't think anyone makes those anymore, on 16.5 inch 15 by 12 wheels from Welds, I believe. And old school, right? Again, I built this, well, 80% of it anyways, 10 years ago, and got a hold of this set probably somewhere around that time as well. Before we leave here, the back side of this, you can see that there is a custom fuel tank. I think that's from Tamed Bronco. It's like the 26-gallon fuel tank. And the rear bumper I made at home, as well as a swing out tire carrier. I don't carry a spare here because I don't really go four-wheeling that much here, so I've turned that into a removable carrier where I can carry like chairs and coolers and things like that. But it's very helpful. So real quick, the front has a worn power plant winch with a matching air compressor, which doesn't get any use lately. So what about the power plant? Well, as you can see, this is a 5.0 high output 302 motor with the fuel injection from a Mustang, and I've added a supercharger on it. It's a power dyne with, I think, 6 to 7 pounds of boost. Not much, right? Just mainly an additional horsepower, but nothing much. The reason why I put this motor in there is because I think the 5.0 high output, the old school ones, are very reliable motor. Plus, they have forged internals, and having a boost like that is really helping out. It's kind of gotten dirty now in the last couple of months that I've had it because I've driven it a lot, very far. Behind that is a 5-speed transmission from an F250 with a custom hydraulic clutch, and then behind that is the stock Bronco Dana 20, and it works pretty well. The first gear of the 5-speed from the F250 is very low, along with the I think a 3.7 on the TKs from this Dana 20 that I have, and then 456. So she crawls really well if I get to use it anyways. Okay guys, as far as the exterior is concerned, my wife actually painted this a long time ago. So there's a few signs of rust surfacing. You can't avoid that in an island like this, but nothing I can't fix. Anyway, these flares are here, the Gorilla flares from I think Wild Horses. We tried to do all the badges and all of the accessories blacked out here outside, so kind of get that blacked out red and blacked out look. So it's not bad at all. And I've already talked about this Rampage newly installed top. This top right here is perfect for something like a Bronco because of the fact that you can remove the sides, right, which is tinted. I don't run AC in this vehicle right here because you don't need that in Hawaii, but I would say 90% of the time the sides are off because this is Hawaii, right? So going into the interior real quick, the interior this is a rear seat from a CJ7 Jeep that I've kind of pushed back as far as I can push back here so that the rear occupants have a lot of room back here. Pretty simple design, nothing much here, but climbing in and out of something like this is a little bit hard. It makes it easy stepping by the rear bumper and then over the seat right here and then sitting down and just relaxing, right? That front seat right there, by the way, is from a Chevy Colorado, I think, the back seat on a 4-door or something, one of those Traverse Colorado's 4-door that I've modified to fit in the front there. So here's the front seat. It's a bench seat with you can lower the metal right there for the arm. It's very comfortable. It's leather. I love it. I love this red stitching that comes with it, by the way. It just kind of goes with the theme of the vehicle. If you look at the dash, I tried to keep the dash as simple as possible. This is an aftermarket Tamed Bronco steering wheel with a I Did It adjustable steering column and rewired to the Bronco. The dash, the speedometer is all stock from this Bronco right here, and then I just put odometer gauges to monitor the health of the engine. As you notice by now, there is no radio in this Bronco because we don't need a radio. My music is the rumble of that 5.0 HO, and there's the 5-speed and a twin stick. The 5-speed and a transfer case shifter down there in the bottom. So the roll cage is custom roll cage by moi, full roll cage. Pretty cool. Very utilitarian. You can just sweep or vacuum the mud or wipe the mud if you need to wipe it down. I love the design of the older vehicles like this because it is such, just a gentleman car in my opinion. Some people have hot rods, I have Broncos, and I think this is a pretty cool vehicle. Alright guys, that's all about the 1974 Bronco behind me here. It's a work in progress. I actually have, just for some chance, got a hold of 2 more 1974 and one 1975 that will require a lot of work. So hopefully 2023 is the time in which I'll rebuild those Broncos. I promised myself not to sell the Broncos, the classic Broncos anymore because they are hard to find. And you just can't find them cheap anymore. To be able to have one running on the street is quite a treat, right? For those that like something like this. I'm not saying only Broncos, you know, other brands as well, Chevy, Ford, Dodge, whatever have you, that have classic cars that people put on the road is amazing in my opinion. Um, how much did it cost to build it? I can't tell you. I can't really keep track of it. It's been a long time since I bought a lot of parts for it. But most parts I make my own. I do all the work at home on my own, including the regearing, rebuilding the motor and things like that. So maybe in 2024 I will take it apart again to, you know, take a look at things that I wanted to correct. There are things that I wanted to correct. Obviously, it's never a perfect build, but something that I want to learn eventually. You know, just lessons learned, right, for the next build. But anyways, I'm out here. I'm enjoying the weather. That's all I have for you this week. I know the vehicle side of Stylish Grease Monkey is not viewed very well, but only time will come. Anyway, one more walk around and then I'm signing out. That's all I have for you this week. Aloha.